Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm sure most of you have heard about all the drama with actual bots playing for people in Ranked. I just wanted to share some of the info I've been able to gather with the help of some friends, people from the Rocket League subreddit, and Discord. Let's get into it. What are these bots, and how did it start? So, these bots are a derivative of a machine learning bot called Nexto. The files for the bot are open source, and the team who created the bot have nothing to do with it being implemented into Ranked. This all started with someone apparently named Thorami, something like that. Here are one of his messages that is now deleted on the Reddit community. I apologize, these are going to be pretty blurry when I uploaded them. The quality definitely was not on there, but here it goes. Thorami says, a little backstory. When playing games, my mind sometimes wanders off and thinks what kind of exploits would be possible for the game that I'm playing. I do a little bit of research to see what already exists. If the things I come up with don't exist, and they are not too ambitious, I start making it for fun. At the time, Nexto wasn't a thing yet, and I thought of 4 or so methods that I think would be possible to do so in Rocket League. Most of which would be instantly patched if made, but one of them being very ambitious, which was to create a bot. Looking at the RL bot community at the time, I wasn't too impressed with the existing bots, and creating one myself from scratch seemed like a lot of work with uncertain results. Skip forward a while and Nexto suddenly became popular, which changed everything. The hacking community for RL in my eyes was pretty much non-existent. Public statements from Psyonix developers about hacks in Rocket League pretty much said, "We aren't worried, everything is server side." Public statements from the RL bot developers were, "It's impossible to use our bots in Ranked." This created, in my mind, a perfect storm to create the exploit. I didn't bother looking at methods from RLBot, RLGym, or Bakismod, as the interesting part of their work was not open source. Besides, this wasn't the first time for me, and I knew exactly what I had to do to make this work. Once the exploit worked, me and a small group of friends tested it to see how far Nexto would get. It easily got Grand Champion. The highest we see Nexto reach was G2 Div 4 and 2v2, and we had a little bit of fun in Ranked. In June 2022, I tried contacting Psyonix to let them know it would be an issue for other people if they would do the same thing that I did. Getting into contact with them proved difficult, as the Epic support team were of no help either. I decided to contact the bot developers at that time to let them know, in the hope that Psyonix would get the message through them. Skip forward and there was still no response from Psyonix, so I decided to stream Nexto playing online on Twitch to force a response. The stream would quickly fill with people from the modding community and even Psyonix employees. However, they stayed silent the entire time and just manually banned the account I would be streaming on. I imagined that they would be working on something and eventually fix things. Weeks went by and nothing happened. Weeks turned into months. I would sometimes start the stream just to show them the problem didn't magically disappear, slightly threatening them to release the exploit. Maybe the RL bot community would be able to put some pressure on them. I even went through the entire process of an unban request, which got escalated to Psyonix employees in the hope to make it clear to them that this is an issue, but to no avail. In this period, I shared the method I use for the exploit with one of the bot developers present in this thread, as I was pretty much done with Rocket League, and maybe that would get them to do something. Skip to the end of November, where I decided to share the bot with 2 other people outside of my regular friend group. I assumed them to be RL bot community members, as these were the people usually in my stream and would be running to Psyonix, creating more pressure on them to do something. Things kept quiet for a few more weeks, and eventually it turned out this was not the case. One of them tried to sell the bot pretending to be me. From there on, you can imagine the craziness, which eventually leads up to where we are now. Now for the people or wanting to use the bot online, I have a word of caution. There are many scammers and backdoors out there. I will not be sharing it with you, no point in trying to contact me for this. Psyonix knows exactly how this bot works and how my exploit is made. They can easily stop the current invasion if they choose to. It's up to them to act. I'm out. Now, I do want to state that what we just went over is not confirmed to be the real Thorami. This could also be somebody pretending to be him. So we're really just trying to go over as much information as we possibly can to figure out what happened. I felt like that's a somewhat believable backstory until you get to the very end, especially with how difficult it is to actually get in contact with Psyonix and Epic support, because if you've ever actually tried to do that and speak to a real person about things that are going on, it is incredibly difficult to get through to them. Part 2. how to spot these bots in ranked, and how to play against them. I'm going to be playing some footage in the background, and the footage that we'll be playing is footage of these Nexto type bots playing. This is sourced from some of the Discord selling this cheat. This is sourced from members of the RL Reddit community and from a couple of my buddies that played against them in Discord. These bots play differently than your standard player, and I'll share some tips on how to tell it from a real person. The first thing to look out for is how the bot approaches the play when the ball is in the air. 8 out of 10 times, the bot is going to go for a carry instead of going for an aerial, which most players would. They do this even when there is high pressure or the ball has strong momentum. Aside from this, the bot will not know how to challenge most air dribbles, flip resets, horse dashes, and ground to air dribbles. If you cannot do these mechanics consistently, then your best bet is to play like Woody and demo them as much as you possibly can. Even bumps and things can really mess them up. Some people will tell you that the bot doesn't have the ability to toggle ball cam off and on, and that is true for some older versions of this bot. The bad news is that there's a newer code for them to be able to toggle ball cam on flicks and some rotations around the field. These ball cam changes do happen very quick though, so it's a super fast toggle and it doesn't keep them on and off ball cam for a long period unless it's a flick. Aside from that, people can actually toggle some of the bots on and off at their own discretion. This makes it possible to do more fakes and airplays to draw off suspicion. The same goes for after goal celebrations. Some iterations of this bot now celebrate Part 3. What do I do if I find this bot in game? It's January 15th as I'm writing this script, and as of now, Psyonix and Epic have not made an official statement on how to report this behavior. I will tell you what I've been using to report these bots. Side note, if Psyonix and Epic do come out with a specific way to report this, please follow what they say and not what I'm mentioning. When I encounter a bot in-game, I use the in-game report option and I'll select the one that says report for throwing and griefing. So far, I think this is the best we can do. The people who use some of these programs have the ability to change their name and add characters in their name that the game won't recognize and load. That'll make tying multiple games to a single player more difficult, and this direct way will give the dev team the best info that they can to look into it, and this way we're not falsely accusing some players in the community. Now we're going to get into the last part of the video, which is basically be smart, please don't witch hunt the people, and don't download fishy things online. So please don't download or interact with any of the programs associated with all of this. I shouldn't really have to tell people not to download sketchy stuff from the internet, but here I am. Please be smart and don't get your rig riddled with malware, keyloggers, etc. If you've had any experiences with this bot or know of any information, feel free to share it down in the comments. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.